Hey, I'm Ton Vin, and this is Seattle Eats, a food podcast from the Seattle Times and KUOW. Who makes the best pizza in the city? The Seattle Times food team set out to answer that question last summer. We built a bracket with 32 of the best pizza shops in Seattle. The people voted, the Times food team taste tested, and we arrived at 4 finalists and 1 winner. We talked about these pizza shops on the very first episode of Seattle Eats. But there are a lot more of you than when the show started. So this holiday week, we're throwing it back and sharing our breakdown of the best pizza in Seattle, so you can enjoy a slice this holiday weekend. Bon appetit! Who makes the best pizza in Seattle? I called in some super friends from the Seattle Times to discuss this very topic. Bethany Jean Clement, Seattle Times food writer, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and I can feel my cape flowing behind me.
And Jackie Variano, also a Seattle Times food writer. Glad you're here, Jackie.
Me too.
Jackie, you're like my cubby mate. You sit near me. So tell the listeners what a great colleague I am. And a human being, heart of gold. I'm kidding. Sorta. But I am serious about pizza. Let's start with the big question. Like, what do you even look for in a pizza? A good pizza.
It's a triumvirate, of course, because what is pizza? Pizza is delicious bread, amazing tomato in the form of sauce, and hopefully the world's greatest cheeses. Each one, I think, matters equally.
Yeah, agreed. It can't just be one thing.
I think I'm about the dough. The dough has to taste like something. It can't just be there to hold everything together as a vessel. It has to have some taste.
The right amount of salt in a dough is incredibly important, and there should not be any sugar cough dominoes.
Well, I mean, I feel like I could get down with a little sweetness. Get down with the sweetness.
Yeah, when's the last time you had Domino's or read through their ingredient list? More importantly, it is chemical.
I don't actually remember the last time I had a Domino's / Papa John's / Pizza Hut. Little Caesars. I don't even know.
I feel like pizza is so deeply personal.
True.
I do not want to ever shame anyone about the pizza that they love, because pizza is amazing, and I feel like your childhood experiences with pizza are very formative. And if you started out with Domino's, if that's what you grew up eating, if you grew up eating pizza,
True.
then that could still be your favorite. And I respect that.
Agreed.
I grew up eating Pagliacci's here in Seattle, and I'm still a fan with some qualifications at this point.
Yeah, it hits. On a certain night, definitely.
Okay, let's talk about the bracket. So earlier this summer, we asked Seattle Times readers who makes the best pizza in Seattle. And after 13,000 votes, we have a winner. Readers picked their favorite. We picked our favorite. And in a rare kumbaya moment, we all agreed. But before we get to the winner, let's give some love for the runner-up. Coming in at number 4, Delancey and Ballard. Bethany, you're a Delancey fan. Tell us about it.
I've been a fan of Delancey since the beginning, which was 15 entire years ago now. Brandon Pettit, one of the original co-owners and the pizza super nerd there, is still in charge. He took pilgrimages to try the most revered pizzas all around the country, from Pizzeria Bianco in Phoenix to Di Fara in New York. And he tried different kinds of dough, and he made pizza at different altitudes. His crust, I think, just knocks it out of the park. The salt level is perfect. It comes out with that leopard print on the bottom that everybody loves and seeks out. It's just delicious. And
I would add that he was probably one of the first, Bethany, to really use fancy sausage on their pizza.
He uses incredible ingredients, many of them local across the board. His cheese list will make a cheese lover just start weeping with joy.
Thank you, Bethany. On to number 3, Post Alley Pizza in downtown near Pike Place Market. Jackie, you know a lot about this place.
So it's been around since 1997, but the current ownership took over in 2021. And I think it changed a lot over the years, and it still is kind of evolving into itself, but they do a New York-ish style. And I just really love the incredible flavorful sauce. That's my favorite part of this pizza because I do love a fresh tomato sauce, but I also love like a zingy, oregano heavy, bursting with flavor kind of a sauce. And that's what Post Alley does so well.
I would say that this was our most controversial discussion.
Oh, totally.
In terms of the four pizza. You love the pizza, Jackie, and you like the crust. Bethany, you had other thoughts. Tell me your issue with Post Alley.
Post Alley pizza sauce is not my favorite, with all due respect, Jackie.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I have found with the particular whole pies I've had over the years since Post Alley has been under its new ownership, I've gotten crusts that seemed too dry and sort of crackery.
I do think that they can be a little uneven, but that's just part of humans, right?
Sure.
Humans making pizza in a super busy shop. I don't think I've ever been to Post Alley where there hasn't been a line out the door of like slice seekers. And then there's little old me being like, I need 2 whole pizzas and at least 2 hoagies. And
I'm going to start eating them in the car.
I'm going to start eating them in the car, potentially right outside the shop.
For me, I think the crust has this chew that's almost like a New York bagel. So I see why New Yorkers love this pizza, this crust anyway. I mean, this crust was clearly made by a pizza geek or a bread baker. It just has a very distinctive flavor. And if we were to do a taste test, that's a blindfolded taste test, I think all of us could pick out Post Alley. It's such a distinctive
I could, for sure.
Jackie, you talk about the sauce, and I would say for me, I thought Post Alley tomato sauce was thicker than the other 3 candidates in our final 4.
Definitely thicker, and I felt like they put more on. And when I got my last pie there, the sauce was very visible.
Yeah,
and
it's on
I
top.
Asked, yes, and they said they always put it on top of the cheese, which is a choice.
Yeah.
Yes, which some people say that sauce on top of cheese leads to like a crispier base because it doesn't have that same moisture if you put sauce then cheese.
And for me, I love that we're talking about sauces, and tomato sauce because I think we usually focus on the dough. But I think there's a change in attitude. And I think the movement now is to talk more of how tomato sauce can add umami. And I'll give you an example. Like New York famed chef Wally Dufresne, he adds soy sauce to his tomato sauce.
Really?
Yeah. The Modernist Cuisine Nathan Murrow, he suggests using fish sauce in your tomato sauce. Or even MSG. And the point that they're both trying to make is you want to use a tomato sauce to add umami component. It's just a cheap, easy way to do it.
Tomatoes already have their own innate umami. I feel like it's really going overboard to put fish sauce or soy sauce for a really traditional style pizza, where you can achieve that incredible umami tomato sauce without resorting to those measures. And a lot of places do.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to die on this hill. We're going to move on, and we'll talk about the first runner-up. Taking second place is Bar del Corso on Beacon Hill. It's one of my favorite restaurants. I think it's a lot of people's favorite. It's a restaurant that I usually suggest to out-of-town guests and relatives. It's along a restaurant road that's probably the hippest in the city now, sandwiched between Family Friend and Homer. The only people I know who don't like Bar del Corso is the fact that they don't think this is a legitimate Neapolitan-style pizza.
Why?
Well, because a true Neapolitan-style pizza, it's going to be soft and chewy on the crust and soupy in the center.
Oh.
See, that's not the way that most people like their pizza. I would argue like Neapolitan-style pizza is so popular around the world now. I mean, I went to South America, and they make really good Neapolitan-style pizza.
Oh, yeah, same in Japan.
Yeah, Japan's supposed to make the best Neapolitan-style pizza.
Also in Mexico.
For me, I think Neapolitan-style pizza is the one style pizza that you cannot make at home. Because we're at this stage now where everyone loves to make pizza at home. But I would contend it's the one pizza that is the hardest to try to duplicate at home. For one thing, you need to cook it at 800 degrees at least. And yes, even if you buy a pizza oven off Amazon or a pizza maker, I don't care what the instructions tell you. I am convinced it does not get as hot as 800 degrees. And if it does, it doesn't retain the heat. The floor of the oven isn't hot enough. So I contend it's like impossible to duplicate.
We got my dad an uni for Father's Day a couple of years ago, and it is a wood-fired oven. It can rip to like 800 degrees, but that's the other thing about like pizza is everything. Cooking a pizza is not just having an 800-degree oven. Like my mom, God love her, her dough is like made in a food processor, or she gets like batch dough from Costco. And just because they've got this oven, it's not the same. Even if you have an oven or even if you have a really great dough, not anybody is going to be able to produce a Bar del Corso pizza. It's just not. Yeah. It's impossible.
And the pizza makers at Bar del Corso and Delancey both have tons of experience, and they are keeping that oven wood fired to this like extremely high temperature with a level of expertise that, I'm sorry, the rest of us would just be arson.
Yes, like why?
And burns,
The moral of the story is, do not make Neapolitan style at home. Don't even try it. Get a Bar del Corso. Oh, and if you disagree with me, you can email Jackie and Bethany at Seattle Times. Just don't bug me.
All my emails are set up to auto-forward to you anyway.
And finally, our winner, the undisputed best pizza in Seattle. It might surprise you that it's actually from Burien. Stevie's Famous, which started in Burien in 2021, but they opened a second location on Beacon Hill. And so we're going to claim it as our own in Seattle.
It's inside the Clock Out Lounge, actually, which is an incredible longtime music venue. But for Stevie's service there, it's all ages. So it is open to kids.
Oh, and I love that. So there's two places you can get Stevie's. We have some slices hot out of the toaster oven. It's a sausage pizza, and I think they make the best sausage pizza in Seattle. It's more gourmet than most spots. Pickled peppers that they do it in-house. It's caramelized onions. It's just little nubs of like sausage that has so much flavor. So let's eat.
Speaking of crust, as we were already at exceptionally great length, Stevie's crust is hands down my favorite in the city. It's got the faintest echo of a tang from their sourdough starter, which is named Ruth in honor of this activist scholar, Ruth Wilson Gilmore. And they brush the outer edges of the crust with olive oil. You can see it sort of glistens a little bit. And that's part of what makes the outer edges of Stevie's crust unleave behindable, right?
I think what makes them so distinctive is like there's that zing of fermentation that you don't get in other slice shops. It's very distinctive, and I just love it. Like you guys, I love the crust. It has that New York fold, right? It's easily foldable.
Okay, this is a hot take. If you fold pizza, it's a sandwich. Why are we folding it?
I totally agree. I feel like I don't want crust on top and bottom.
No. If I want that, I'll order a calzone.
Right. Stromboli me in that case.
Yes.
If I go out for a New York slice and I fold a slice, I put it in my mouth, my palate would just reject it and say, what's going on here? And just like make me spit it out.
Yeah.
Because when you fold a pizza and you eat it, it's like the alchemy is off. And I just realized how pompous I just sound. The alchemy is off. But it's true. It's like you're eating a calzone or a cheese pizza sandwich. It's not the same. I don't understand this New York fold stuff. I'm glad we're on agreement.
That's why we live in Seattle.
There you go.
We're all anti-fold, and we all picked Stevie's Famous as the best in the city, independently of each other under cones of silence.
Under deep cones of silence.
Yeah.
That conference room was awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't talked about the sauce yet with Stevie's because there is no sauce on the sausage pizza, which I do think is a choice for sure. And I do love Stevie's sauce. I think their cheese pizza is the best, partially because of the sauce. But I'm not mad that there's not sauce on this because there's enough between all the cheeses and the different onions and the spice.
It's an incredible white pie. It has like the spiciness and the richness. But I agree with you. Stevie's sauce is incredible. I feel like it gets the balance of sweet and salt and freshness and zing, like tartness, like exactly right.
And this is fancier than a slice shop needs to be. It's gourmet, and people make a big deal because it's $6 or $7 a slice, but this is legit. I mean, there's not a lot of things you can eat in this city for under $10 that's this good. and this filling.
Well, yeah, they're pretty. I think I've gone to the Burien location, gotten 3 slices, and had to take 2 of them home. I think they're pretty substantial for a slice. And I do agree with you also, Bethany, like this is a beautiful tomato sauce in a very different way than the Post Alley tomato sauces. Mm-hmm. But I love them both because like one is jammy and oregano-y, and the other one is just like so tomatoey and delicious.
Yeah. So we determined the winner. Let's backtrack a little bit. Who did not make the bracket that you felt should have?
Independent Pizzeria at the end of Madison, right where it hits the lake. They are incredible. They've been there for a really long time. They make beautiful pizza. Go eat it. They deserved so much better.
They should have been our Final Four. I think they do make some of the best pizza. Jackie, who got robbed in this bracket?
Well, I was thinking about how weird this bracket would have been like 2 years ago, and how maybe like the North Lake Tavern pizza stands would have showed up en masse. Or like I still think about Chachi's, who used to do a pizza pop-up, and he had this abuela pizza, and the sauce was almost like more like a salsa, and there was just a grip of fresh herbs on top. And it was such a different pizza. I just love how far Seattle has come as a pizza town.
I love that Ananas, his sort of Lao take on pizza, went very far.
Went super far, yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yes.
My vote would be for my friend Derek's. Now, they do not have a storefront. It's a pop-up in Fremont. But that's a great Detroit-style pizza with a thick crust, like a focaccia buttery dough.
Which also is another thing is not any of our like pan-style pizzas, Detroit-style pizzas made it. I mean, being from the Midwest, there wasn't a single tavern-style pizza that even came anywhere within sniffing distance. It's interesting who made it through and who didn't.
You know who shocked me?
Who?
About in this bracket that they didn't make farther is Pagliacci.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not saying they would have been in my Final Four.
Oh, but because they are so ubiquitous?
Yeah, because they're the home team, and I thought people would love it.
I grew up eating Pagliacci, and it was probably my favorite pizza for a long time. I think it's gotten less consistent as someone who has still been ordering it time to time. And I noticed it got really expensive. They first instituted, I think, a $4 delivery fee that was not going to the drivers. And then that went up to $5, and now it's $7. And my regular order for large pizza with a number of toppings on it and a small salad, I think started approaching $70, $60. And then you start thinking about the value proposition there, right?
Okay, we'll leave it there for today. Bethany, Jackie, thanks for having lunch with me.
Thanks, Ton.
Thank you. It's so fun to talk about pizza forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
That's it for today. We have a list of all the restaurants we talked about in the description of this episode. Thanks for listening to Seattle Eats. The show is a production of Seattle Times and KUOW for the NPR network. You can support Seattle Eats by investing in the local newsroom and the specialized beats that make this storytelling possible. Please consider joining and subscribing at kuow.org/eats and seattletimes.com. Seattle Eats is produced by Claire McGrain and edited by Jim Gates and Trevor Lensmeyer. I'm Tom Vin. See you next week.